Crypto moves in seconds. Miss the pump, lose forever. BitProfits never sleeps.
With thousands of members winning daily.
While you hesitate, we profit. Join the elite now.
All right, guys, welcome back to BitProfits. Today is Thursday, November 6th. We did a special pop-up meeting today. We normally meet every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we had a lot going on this week. So we said, why not? Let's go ahead and jump on a live call. We got some of our VIP traders on here. So some have called in and some are on the Zoom. But yeah, man, let's talk about this price action we've been seeing over the last couple of days. We saw a steep right now. You're looking at the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. I said, let's go 4-hour because we had this big sharp drop over on Tuesday, a few days ago. We had this big sharp drop on Bitcoin. And this is why, let me take all this stuff off. This is why just understanding price action is so important, guys. This is why price action is so important. Let's go back here to when it was just consolidating. This was over the weekend, low volume, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What do we notice here? We can see that it's consolidating, correct? We can see it trading within this channel from 109, 109.5 to really this 110.7 level. We could see it trading within this channel, a really super tight range, right? It's just consolidating. Now, guys, if you guys, all of my VIP traders know this, and guys in my one-on-one mentorship know this, but anytime you guys see this was Friday through Sunday, you had 3 days worth of consolidation. What does that mean? What does that mean? I say this all the time.
Oh, it's going to break out.
It's either right. That's correct. A big move is coming. It's either going to break out or break down. How do we know this? Because it's like, think about when you pull a rubber band. This is potential energy, and now it's kinetic. Okay, it's gathering momentum. It's just getting all the energy it can, right, for a big move, right? So we see it trading in this channel, and now what do we see here on Sunday, 1900 hours? So that would mean Sunday night, right? Yeah, this would be Sunday night. We see it break out of this channel, right? Correct. We see it break with volume. We see it break. Not only does it break through that 109 level, it touches the 108. It actually closes underneath 108. So simple price action concepts, guys. When it breaks through a key level with volume, and then we're going to get to exploits a little bit later, but when it breaks through with volume, I'm not playing. RSI is my favorite thing to play. That's my favorite, most high probability play. I'm not playing RSI on this candle. I'm not playing RSI on this candle. It's breaking through key levels with volume. It just consolidated. You should be Sunday night, Monday morning, you should be anticipating a big move because of the consolidation. Okay. It breaks through with volume. Okay. We had the retest here. We had a retest on this Monday morning. We had a retest. It fails the retest. Okay. It breaks down again, closes underneath another key level. Okay. And the crazy thing about it is, like, as you get more experience, you see all my levels are already charted, right? You see all my key levels are already charted. So it doesn't take much time for me to just get on the charts and say, okay, what's Bitcoin doing today? All my levels, all the hard work is already done. It's just coming into my prop account and just executing. Okay. But yeah, simple price action. We see it break through key levels, break and close underneath the key level. We see we had a retest here, break and close. Here it kind of bounced a little bit, had a little dead cat bounce. Could not. We had increase in volume. Okay, I could see if you try to run a RSI play right here. Okay, but then this candle here, when it breaks down again, all long positions, like no more longs after that. We went from 109 to 104. Like, why would you be trying to long? We had a breakdown. Look at this with volume. We didn't even get a retest. It breaks down through another key level. It's like, why would you be trying to long? When we have breakdowns with volume. And then we got to the point where we touched 99K. We touched 99 I think it got as low as 99K. 99K, and then we started to see a little bit of a bounce. Now we see a rejection on at the 104 level. Okay. Why did it? Let's see all the sales and all the buys happening at this 99K level. Like that's how you know this is a very strong level. Look at the volume. Look at how many orders are getting triggered. You see the size of these bars, the volume bars here. They spike at these levels here. All the orders are just getting triggered, 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 triggered. But let's look back in time and see why this is such a key level. I'm going to go to the daily here on Bitcoin. We see that recently, like here, we just bounced at the 99K level. Let's go back in time and we can see this was 108. Yeah. Here. Look at this here. This was in June. This was in June when we had a breakdown. We bounced here at that same 98, 99K level, and we rallied to all-time highs, right? And I feel like it did it again. It had did that, yeah. We got 108, 108. Yeah, 108 was a big level too. You see how it was support here at 108, support here at 108. So when it breaks that 108 with volume, it's like, guys, we only taking short positions. When it breaks down that 108 like that, it breaks 108 with volume, breaks down all the way down to our next major support level. There's like major and minor support levels, and that's why you guys will see. That's kind of why you see like I have solid lines and dash lines. My solid lines are like 4 hour and daily supports, whereas my dash lines will be like more minor supports, more take profit, stop loss levels. But that's why you see like these solid lines because these are major levels, guys. Major levels. That 112 on Bitcoin was a major level. 108 was a big level. 99K we see was a big level. We had a bounce before at that 99K level. You see here, it bounced and rallied to all-time highs. Major level. That same 99, 98. This, I'm gonna just call this a demand zone. It's just in this zone of there's a lot of buyers that just put in a just a limit order and say, hey, if Bitcoin ever retraces, I'm a buyer at 100K. 100K Bitcoin I'm buying at all-time highs, I'm not buying. But that's exactly what we see. So this is just to me, I would just consider it basic price action. We see a breakdown. Let me go to I'm on the daily. Let me jump into 1 hour because this is where you'll start to see really your entries and your 5 minutes where you go to execute. But you can clearly see like major breakdowns here on the 1 hour. Major breakdown. It broke and closed. Okay. It broke and closed. It did try to bounce, but we could not reclaim that 108. So if we couldn't reclaim it and it starts to consolidate, it's like it's gathering momentum here. Gathering momentum for what? The next move up or down. And we see another break with volume, a clear break and hold underneath the key level. Okay. So that's just basic price action concepts. Trends. Let's go right into trends. Clearly, I mean, we can see what? We can see, let me get my trend line. Clearly, we can see a what? A clear downtrend, correct? We see a clear downtrend. Now, we may consolidate within this channel here. We may start to consolidate between this 99 and 104 level on Bitcoin and just kind of trade sideways and just gather momentum, gather momentum, gather momentum. Are they going to try to capitulate those longs and those shorts? It could just trade sideways for a few days and then we can expect another big move. But what we want to see is volume increasing, guys. Volume. That's why, like, I can literally turn off all these other fancy indicators, all these algos and whatever. You don't need that, guys. You got to be able to read the price action. They're telling you what's going to happen. I literally can tell you what we might just get a double bottom. What it looks like to me is like we're forming a double bottom pattern, okay? Which is a bullish pattern. I would expect maybe another breakout here in the next couple days. We had a drop, we had a bounce trying to reclaim the 104. We could not break and hold over the 104 level. We closed right underneath 104. Okay. So because we couldn't reclaim it with volume, we had decreasing volume here, guys. Okay. See the volume decreasing? We had decreasing volume. So we rejected off of the 104. We came back, didn't even get back to 99. We have higher lows. Okay. Higher lows. Okay. But we could start to come back down a little bit and we could bounce again off of that 99K level. So let me just mark this so you guys can see this clearly. But I'm seeing a double bottom pattern is what I'm seeing. We could see something. We could see something like this, and at least get back to that 108. Retest that major support of 108. A steep drop, dead cat bounce, reject back to support, and maybe a breakout, or maybe it breaks down and we retest. Let me go to the daily. This is just kind of what I'm anticipating, but and we're going to get into exploits. If this thing breaks down through 99K with volume, guys, I'm only shorting. That's the exploit. So y'all know I'm a professional poker player, right? And we have this thing we call exploits, right? Exploits is like when you see a player, like I play tournament poker, I travel the country playing tournament poker, right? Exploits are when you see a player making mistakes, right? Now you have to forget everything you know about game theory, everything you know about poker strategy and game theory and position. You have to forget all of that and just exploit that person that's making big mistakes. You need to get their chips, okay? So if they're making mistakes like leading into you out of position, they bet too much, they're too passive, whatever the mistake they're making, you have to now change your strategy and just attack them and just exploit them. And that's what exploits are. So the market, I love RSI plays. I love to play reversals. Okay. Now, does it make sense to try to play reversal when you see this big drop with increasing volume? Big drop with increasing volume. Big drop with increasing volume. Why are you trying to stop a train? Okay. So this is just kind of what I'm anticipating to happen. Like I said, we see that volume is decreasing here. Volume is starting to decrease, so maybe there's just less sellers in the marketplace. This is a major demand zone. So we could just start to consolidate here within this region of 99K and 104 Bitcoin. And I would expect to see a breakout or a breakdown. So let me go to the daily. This is what I would be playing. Okay. I would if I have a new prop account, I'm putting in my buys now. I would get in here at this 101K Bitcoin. I would be getting here, or I would get in here. 99K would be great. If you can't get that, I would be getting in here. I would have a tight stop right underneath this swing low at 90. Let's go 98. Let's call it 98,700. That will give you measurement tool. If you got in at the current price to 98,700, yeah, a little about 2.5% risk. 2.5% risk. I think on let me double check. On a one step, 100K one step, you have a max daily of 4%. So this is just fine. You can put in your stop at that 98.7 level. And I would be trying to ride this. I would be trying to ride this breakout here. I would be trying to get this. Let me go. Your upside, you need to get what, 10%? 10%. If you got in at the current price, 108. Yeah. You would definitely beat the challenge if you can get to that 108 level. Does that make sense? Everybody see how I got that?
Yeah, yeah. No, I was having problems with this thing trying to get it to work.
Okay. So yeah, I got my risk reward tool out here. Everybody's seeing how I'm doing that. So I'm risking. Remember, guys, that's why I just put out breakout prop just to see. We need to get 10%. We need to get 10% without losing 4%. Okay. So if we want to ride this would be a nice little play. Putting a tight stop. This will be my stop. I think this would be a nice little play. If you're trying to beat a new challenge, this would be a nice little play right here. And what you need to do, because you have that, 4% is 4% stop, max daily 4%. Put in a tight stop, or I would add on the way up. So what I would do is I would use my starter size, whatever your starter size is, whatever you feel comfortable with. I would just use that, and I would add. If we break that 104 with volume, I would then add to my position. I would add on a retest. So I would get into the position now, have a stop right underneath that 99, 98 level. And then as we break 104 with volume, I would be adding to my position, and I would ride it up, and I would beat the challenge. That's how you beat your next challenge. So don't say I never gave y'all anything. This is exactly how you beat it. Now, exploitatively, if we break out, let me go to the weekly because let me go to the weekly. If we if we break down, see all these levels that I have plotted on Bitcoin, guys? Like that'll tell you I've been trading this thing for a while. But if we break through that 90, we're currently 99 support. If we break that level, then our next support demand zone will be that 98.5. Okay. We break that level, 95. We're gonna looking at a 95K Bitcoin. We lose that level. We do have a lot of levels between that 95 and 90K Bitcoin. So there is more support at lower. So we could see lower. But I probably think we're gonna bounce. You can see where we had consolidation before here at 77K. I don't see us getting there that soon. We're probably gonna retest some of these levels, but I just don't see it that soon. I think we're more likely to bounce at this current level because of how aggressively we sold off. Any questions on that?
I
Any
was just gonna say, what kind of position size would you use on that trade you explained in Bitcoin?
that's a great question. It really depends. I say it depends on your trading style. Honestly, I'll be completely honest with you guys. If I'm trying to beat a prop challenge and I'm on phase one or a one step and I need 10%, I'm gonna be aggressive. And I'll probably let me see. Let me pull it up again. Let's do some math. Let's do some math.
Can we bring up a position size calculator?
Yeah, sure. We actually have
That
one
we
here with BitProfits. Let me pull it up for you guys. All right. So we got our BitProfit Smart Risk Calculator. So how do we determine the size that we want to enter? Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna put in my account size. Let's say 100K account. Okay. We still need to have adequate risk management. Okay, guys, do not risk more than 1% of the trade. Now, I do understand. I know I talk to a lot of traders that are swinging. They want to have a wider stop. You cannot risk more than 1% on the trade, guys. Okay. So I'm gonna leave the risk at 1%. Okay, trade direction, we're going long. You can change it here in the calculator if it was to go short. If it breaks down and you want to play short, you can change that to short. Entry price, I'm gonna say the current price, which is let's just call it 101 400. Entry price, I'm gonna say 101 400. My stop loss, I said, is right underneath the swing low, which would be, let's just call it 99K, just to keep the math simple. 99K. My take profit price, I'm really aiming for that 108 Bitcoin level. So I'm gonna just put that in there just to see how we look. I'm gonna say my take profit is a 108. My max daily, and we already have it configured at 3%. You guys can adjust this as necessary. This is really dependent on your account. So obviously, if you get 100K one step, your max daily is 4%, right? So if it's 4%, you don't want to leave it at 4% because remember it's fees on the trade. So that's why you see we automatically have it configured at 3%. But this will change if you get a two step. You see with the two step, you have a max daily of 5%. So you just adjust this as necessary. Just make sure that you don't put in the whole. If you have 4% on your prop account, don't set it at 4%. You need to set it at 3%, at very worst case, 3.5%. Don't put it at 4%. Okay. Does that make sense? But so I'll leave that at 3% for now. And I will go ahead and configure that. So it tells me that I should be risking, my risk will be 1,000. Let me make it bigger a little bit. Yeah. My R multiple is 2.75. My max daily is 3,000 because that's 3% of the 100,000. My estimated P&L would be 2,750. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So this is kind of how I choose my sizing. It's really all math. But at the same time, guys, I would say just do what feels right for you. Obviously, you need to have smart risk and not over leverage and not risk. But I mean, I get it. If you're swinging, if you're gonna take a swing trade, you probably will need to have a wider stop. Okay, because if you want to catch bigger moves, you have to be able to risk most of that drawdown. You have to be willing to go into drawdown to catch most of that moves. But what I would do if it was me, I would get in, set my stop loss, and then I would be adding on the way up. As we break 104 with volume, really my first quote unquote take profit is 104. But I would be adding at the 104. If we and mind you, what has to happen at this level, the 104 is so critical because I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this stuff. The 104 is so critical because we have to break it with volume. If we don't break 104 with volume, like here, we broke it, but what happened here? What happened here? We broke the 104 level. So why don't we add here? Guys, the volume starts to decrease. We have decreasing volume. As soon as we break it, and let's say the retest, we failed the retest. We had a break, we had a retest, it failed the retest. The retest, the next hourly candle, it closed underneath 104. So it failed the retest, right? That's like, okay, I like to do a lot of examples. That's like, let's say you're not really good at math, right? And for whatever reason, you get a good grade on a math test, right? So your teacher is kind of like suspicious. She knows like Jerry's really not that good at math. How did he get a 90, a 93 on this math test? So now your teacher decides to do a pop-up quiz to see if y'all really like that in the math in arithmetic, right? So that's what happens here. Jerry got a really good grade. He broke 104. He broke 104, but he had decreasing volume. So on that pop quiz that he wasn't expecting, the teacher really get to put him to the test to see if he's really like that in math. And because he cheated or he did something nefarious, he could not get a 90. He could not repeat that same success that he just had a few days prior. So what happens? It starts to sell off. It starts to reject. Okay. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for it to break with increasing volume, retest, and keep going. If for whatever reason it cannot break and hold with volume, increasing volume, I'm closing my positions here. I'm not going to give back the gains. So if I wrote it up here, I would be selling here. If I see something like this, I'm selling. But I am looking to add on increasing volume. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's always like trading is like, so I can sit here and tell y'all like, yes, I'm anticipating, and I think this is where some of my mentees, like, this is where some people kind of get lost. I'll say that, yes, guys, I'm anticipating a bounce, and they're like, yeah, I'm going long, I'm gonna hold the 108. But it's like if then, right? It's if then. If we break and hold with volume, then I add. If we break and fail retest, then I sell. And I take my profit. So from the current price to that 104, that's a 2.5% move. 2.5% times 5x leverage, I'm halfway there. 2.5 times 5%. I'm right where I need to be to beat the challenge. I don't even need to hold the 108, but I'm telling you, I'm anticipating it retesting some of those levels. Does that make sense? So this is how you beat the challenge, right? You get in now, you hold it to 104, you beat your prop firm challenge. You got your 10% move. And then you have a stop right underneath the swing low. And that's enough to beat your challenge with just 5x leverage. We had a dump. We're going to be consolidating probably within these levels, but I do anticipate we just had a lot. Look at this volume, guys. Look at these volume. This is basic price action. I don't have no fancy indicators. I don't have no and I don't have no fancy algos. But I'm gonna just turn on the algo and just see what it says. I don't really even like to use my algos, but let me just turn on Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo. Let me see if it'll let me put it on. Yeah. And see, and this is one thing I'll say about like algos and why I don't even really use them in my trading. Is because like it's giving you, and mind you, it gave you a strong sell confirmation. So it was correct in the sense that it gave you a strong sell. Notice here, look at this. This X means take profit. That means you need to be closing out your short positions. It literally told you strong trend confirmation. It literally said that when it broke through 109 with volume. Strong sell. So if you're the type of person that would trust indicators and take trades based off the indicators, which I do not recommend, you would have caught this whole move. You would be a funded trader, right? You are a funded trader just by taking, and trusting your algo. And mind you, this is the 4 hour. And anytime you see a trend confirmation on the 4 hour, like that is a very strong trend. So you're getting a very strong sell on the 4 hour breaking with volume. Like this is literally the telltale signs of like strong trend. Now we see a take profit sign because that's what this red X means. And I think we're going to see consolidation. And I think as we break 104 with increasing volume, I think you're going to see a green arrow like this. It's going to be a green buy signal. That's what I would expect. But just to catch your little 5% move or catch a 10% total move, all you need to do is get in right here. Just be early. Boom. 2.5% times 5x leverage is your 10%. Questions?
Nope.
Yeah, so guys, that's price action. That's price action. That's trends, and that's exploits. Any questions on the exploits? Y'all understand what I'm saying about like I love to play bounces. I love to play reversals. I think you make the most if you can just you make the most by catching those quick reversals. But guys, it really you have to come to you have to come to your higher time frames and confirm the trend first. You come to the 4 hour, you come to the 1 hour, you confirm your trend, okay? You confirm your trend, and then you go onto your smaller time frames for execution, okay? You come into your smaller time frames for execution, and now you see a lot of choppiness or whatever here. But you got to just come get the direction from your trends. So when you see breakdown, 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 like why would you be trying to play a reversal? Like why would you be trying to play a bounce? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's kind of where the whole exploitative thinking comes in. Okay. Any questions on that? Any questions on market outlook, top down analysis? Any coins y'all want to look at?
Take a look at ball.
Bonk, big bonk. Let's see. 4 hour on bonk. I finally got my RSI back. Hey.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, bonk, same thing. It broke down over the last few days, just like Bitcoin did. We had a break. I don't have as many levels on bonk, but I can clearly see we had a breakdown with, I mean, look at this volume, guys, increase in volume. We wicked down to here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come and mark this level because it's where it got bought up at. I'm going to go horizontal line and I'm going to do solid line here. I'm going to do solid line. Why solid line? Because look at that volume. So I'm going to do solid line there. This was the swing low. It got bought up there. And I think what you're going to see on Bach is just like Bitcoin, you're going to see consolidation. You're going to see consolidation between these two levels, this 1323 and 1073. You're going to see consolidation. And then I think it will break out or break down with increasing volume like this. So you're going to be trading sideways until we have a breakout or a breakdown. So if you want to trade this, if you have a solid strategy to trade this on a lower time frame like the 1 hour or the 5 minute, go right ahead. But you can clearly see that this is just sideways price action. I have a strategy. I can make a killing on this, but I can't give y'all too much. So yeah, that's what I see on Bonk. Any questions on that?
Nah, thank you.
Yeah, I think you kind of see that W pattern here on Bonk as well. We do have higher lows. We have this swing low is higher than the last swing low, so it is getting bought up. Probably have to wait for confirmation. We're gonna have to wait for a breakout, or we're gonna have to wait for volume to increase here to really know how to play this over the next day or two. But yeah, that's what I see on Bonk. Any other ones?
Um, no, I think I'm straight. Unless you want to check out ETH, Ethereum.
ETH. Hey, let's look at ETH, man. ETH is down to 3,300. Hey, dang, ETH got beat bad, boy. How big of a drop was this? Dang, 20% on ETH. I don't know when. I don't know when ETH is gonna get out of his own way, man. I just don't.
Right, right.
When is ETH gonna get out of his own way? But yeah, I see the same thing. See, notice how I already have my levels plotted on ETH. It wicked down, got bought right back up. So we can see, look at this volume here. So we can see that this 3,100 level is a very big level on ETH. It kind of, I probably need to come and mark this, and I'll do that now. I'll come and mark this level. That's where it got bought up at. That was a swing low. But we have a lot of support on ETH here between this 3,000 and 3,150 level. Yeah, we start to see that kind of that same W double bottom pattern starting to form, higher lows, all similar patterns to Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin is going to lead the market, lead the way. So we're seeing similar patterns. I would be looking for a breakout with volume. Now it's kind of consolidating at this support at 33, at this 3,300 level is kind of consolidating. Let's see if it will break this level with volume or if it will break out with volume. I would love to see a breakout with increasing volume here on ETH because I mean, look at this massive, massive, massive candle. Like, so it's just massive breakdown. So clear downtrend. I think it's important to plot your trends, guys, because that will tell you, like, you have to like then ask yourself, is your strategy congruent to what the market conditions are? If you see that we're in a clear downtrend, it's like, why would you be trying to play like a bounce strategy? Like, it doesn't make sense. So it starts with price action. Notice I don't have no fancy indicators on. Only indicator I have is volume, and I can literally read the market like a book. That's all I really need is volume, and it's all based on price action concepts. So price action, then trends. So clear downtrend, clear sideways trend, right? Then sideways trend, and now exploits. Now I'm gonna just take what the market is giving me. Okay, we in the sideways trend. All right, bet I'm gonna play it within this range. We break out, cool. I'll go long, ride the wave. We break down with volume, cool. I'll go short. I'm gonna just take what the market is giving me. But it all starts with price action, trends, and then you run your play. You run your strategy.